Please be advised, this podcast may contain strong language.
Hello, I'm Robin Davis.
And I'm Naz Islam.
And this is the Friday Fixture. Naz, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. It's been a while since we've done just a you and me episode.
I know.
Almost feels a little bit weird not having people to the left of me, There's no one there. It's an empty space.
Well, we are recording at 9:30, so it was just the two of us this week. But yeah, we should crack on because you got to leave fairly soon. So I thought we would start with the Champions League final, Naz. Mm-hmm. Obviously, PSG won, Arsenal won, PSG win 4-3 on penalties.
Oh, wow. I think I missed that game, actually. What was happening?
PSG
won the Champions League final. That's right.
Yeah, you don't look smug at all about it. But I thought, obviously, there's less games, so we can go in a bit more detail about this game. So, first half, just talk quickly about the sort of Havertz goal, obviously the run in behind. It reminded me a little bit of the 2021 Champions League final where Havertz scored, I think, quite early in that game, and it's a similar kind of run. The finish obviously was better in this game. But yeah, firstly on him, big game player, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he can literally, no matter what we say, he scored 2 goals in 2 separate Champions League finals. That's a pretty, bold statement to be able to make. Yeah, man, he had a good first half, but just didn't work out.
That's going to be the narrative of this podcast, I think.
Yep.
And then there was a few good chances for Kvaratskhelia. I've tried to do a phonetic pronunciation.
That's the best I've heard you pronounce it. So well done.
So yeah, and Gabriel did well to hook the ball clear in the 10th minute. There's a few chances. I feel it was one of those games where sadly Saka wasn't able to really be utilised properly because he was basically doubling up on him with Mascara. Yeah. And then obviously there's a big moment for Havertz again in the 45th minute in the first half where Marquinhos blocked to sort of save PSG. Do you think if it had gone to 2-0, it would have been game over because of how strong Arsenal's defence is?
Yeah, I think that's the whole narrative that was kind of spoken about a lot after that final, is that Arsenal, their whole rhetoric this season of getting a goal, shutting up shop and stopping anyone from scoring works only so far. It doesn't win you the Champions League final. They needed to go and get a second goal, and the fact that they didn't do that, that's what the result was.
Yeah. And then obviously we're going to the second half. Obviously the main talking point is the penalty. Kvaratskhelia does really well to finally get past Mascara with that sort of nice 1-2 play with Dembele in the box. It was a stonewall penalty, wasn't it? I mean, there's a few Arsenal fans debating it, but I mean that is a penalty, isn't it?
I think that's as clear as it gets. Yeah, absolutely a penalty.
There were some Arsenal fans genuinely saying it wasn't. I wasn't really sure on that.
It's easy to get carried away when you're watching your team in the Champions League final. Same way that they would have thought about the decision that was given against them as well later on for the penalty shout as well. Yeah.
And then obviously Dembele steps up, a man who's sort of been on the beach for most of the season by the looks of it. He's played half of the league games in the French Ligue 1. Slots it well, coolly. And then the game started opening up quite nicely from a PSG point of view. I mean, obviously Kvaratskhelia had a few chances again. Obviously that lovely headed flick over a helpless Saliba, who must have been quite tired by that point. But yeah, I thought Saliba did well to track back and defend from that. But yeah, obviously the game finishes 1-1 after full time. There's a few half chances at the end for PSG. We go into extra time, a few more corners. But I thought Safanov had a good game, didn't he? He did really well defensively against that aerial threat of Arsenal, didn't he?
There was a lot of talk about him before the game because the big difference from PSG last season was a really similar team. It was just that they didn't have Donnarumma between the sticks, and a lot of people were, worried about if Safanov could live up to the expectation of getting them over the line. To be fair, overall, he's not been outstanding or amazing or anything like that, but he's a Champions League winner. Yeah, and did his job.
The irony is, I've got this memory, and maybe you can dispute this, but Donnarumma isn't actually that good aerially in the box, if I'm not mistaken, even though he's 7 foot tall, which was a bit strange. But yeah, he's always had a bit of a reputation of being quite poor in the air. So ironically, had Donnarumma been in goal for this game, maybe this would have been a different result. We don't know. But they kept it 1-1 PSG, a few half chances. Raya did well to put off Ramos in the 106th minute of extra time. And then, I think this is the main talking point now, so we can maybe go into it in detail if you want to. I feel like you're nodding away, so maybe we will. The penalties. What did you make to the penalties? I mean, you can go through them one by one if you want, but that's a bit of a pure hate listen, I think. But yeah, what did you make to the penalty shootout?
It looked like PSG had been practicing penalties and Arsenal hadn't. That's the vibe that I got. And also, shame on the Arsenal substitutes who came on and didn't put themselves forward to take a penalty.
Talking about a certain Madueke, who may have turned out a penalty in the Champions League final, but then against Everton when they were 4-0 up for playing for Chelsea.
Give me the ball.
Yeah, so,
exactly. It's like, you can't.
Yeah.
And I think these players, they're like, oh, I should be starting. I'm a great attacker and all that. Why are you not stepping up on the big stage? And in that sense, I feel for Gabriel. But also, I don't feel for Gabriel whatsoever.
No.
And I think a lot of people have been saying this. If there was any player that summed up the entirety of Arsenal Football Club this season, it is him. So for him to be the person that gave PSG the Champions League in this sense of, anti-football, whatever, then...
I mean, you could argue, obviously before that moment, which we'll get onto in more detail, obviously Doué, who's turned 21 this week, I quite liked his sort of straight run, slotted it, bottom bins. The composure of him, there's a lot of debate at the moment, and we'll get onto it later about Kvaratskhelia maybe winning the Ballon d'Or this season. But Doué, in terms of consistency, and that composure was immense, wasn't it, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think the amazing thing about PSG is they've got these like guys who, if they can hold on to these young players, they can do this for like season upon season to come. I don't think they will. I think some of these guys are going to realize that like they are massive names now that can be drawn to the likes of Real Madrid and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing to see like how much confidence can be instilled into a team when they're already successful, and B, they've got team spirit in like bucket loads.
Well, you can draw a few comparisons because obviously Doué scores a penalty for the second, and then the next penalty taker to step up for Arsenal is Eze. And he looked really, understandably, very, very nervous.
Yeah.
And I understand that. Did he score a penalty in... No, he didn't. No, sorry. But he played in the FA Cup final, didn't he? I think he got the assist for the goal that they got against City last season. But yeah, he just looked really nervous. Obviously, it was a straight run up again. But then he did this weird stutter that a lot of players seem to do at the moment. I don't know why. And then obviously he misses bottom left. Do you feel a bit sorry for him?
I think part of him struggling is minutes, and not being given the opportunities he deserves, maybe. But that's what happens at massive clubs: is they when they're pushing for everything, they rotate their squads, and certain players just don't get that much time.
Yeah.
Same thing kind of happened with Madueke as well, and maybe he saw what happened with Eze and was like, I don't want that to happen to me, and probably added to those nerves a little bit as well. So yeah.
Well, the irony was that then Rice steps up, slots it. He's been fantastic, hasn't he, this season? He's got arguably in the shout for a Ballon d'Or. I'm not sure he'd win it because I feel like that they do like to give it to attacking players who've scored, well, more than 10 goals normally. It's kind of seems like the asterisk a little bit. But we had a few goalkeepers win it, the Ballon d'Or. But yeah, Hakimi then slots it, Martinelli, and then Beraldo was the one that I really enjoyed watching because... he didn't start a single Champions League game this season for PSG. He just rocks up and doesn't even take a run up and just slots it bottom right.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of put Raya off because he went too early on, obviously, and then maybe that was part of it. But yeah, it was just fun to see, wasn't it, from Beraldo?
No, and you could tell that like when he went up there, he was like, I'm literally just here to score a penalty and go home. Like he had no doubt in his mind whatsoever. That guy is just, you could tell he's probably like the best penalty taker, one of the best in the team. Just doesn't play that much. But penalties, that's his thing.
Is he basically like, are we saying he's the Ivan Toney for England? Is that what we're saying?
He's exactly that.
And that's going to happen this summer, obviously. The fifth penalty is going to be taken by Ivan Toney in the final. Job done. And then, yeah, we're talking more details because it's quite funny. Not in a pure hate watch for any listeners, but obviously Gabriel steps up for the fifth for Arsenal. That walk-up must have been horrible, mustn't it? Because it just feels like 50... I think the commentator said it felt like 15 miles walking through treacle. Yeah, he also did a straight run-up, stutters, and then just skies the penalty, doesn't he?
Yeah.
These things happen in football, though, but do you think it was more a factor of should Madueke have taken it, or was it just Gabriel being unlucky?
I think the thing is, the first point, yeah, you are right. Like when I was watching that, when I was watching the final and I saw PSG had the advantage, that fifth penalty needed to go in for Arsenal, otherwise it was PSG's. I was like, no matter who this is horrendous pressure. Like this is an insane moment to go up to and deal with.
Yeah.
Thing is though, Gabriel's he's given it big licks all season. He's been like, walking all pompous everywhere, thinking,
wearing those ski goggles that he seems to wear.
So really, you can't go and deliver in that moment. Do you know what I mean? But I guess it goes to show that pressure can affect anyone right at the top of the game. And like at the end of the day, I think he's meant to be a leader, and he is. He's obviously quite inspiring for a lot of that Arsenal dressing room.
He's kind of a sub-captain, isn't he? I mean, obviously Odegaard is the captain.
You can tell he's got a lot of respect amongst the Arsenal players. So realistically, like I think he wanted to show that and wanted to be like, listen, man, I'm your leader. I'm going to go there. I'm going to put this in the net. We're going to carry on going. And I think the pressure just got too much for him. Do
you think maybe he's got a bit too much S-Housery about him and it kind of caught up a little bit towards the end? Because he is quite a confident person, isn't he? Maybe that confidence is actually at a detriment for penalties. Maybe he should have just been like, I'm not the best penalty taker for this. Someone else should take this. It backfired.
Part of that is on Mikel Arteta as well.
Yeah, do you think?
I mean, at the end of it, it's a shame that the penalties, you can't take them with your head, really, because he probably would have scored if it was that. Clearly, he's just not that good a finisher with his feet.
Didn't someone say that? I'm sure I've heard someone say that if it had been a headed penalty.
I'm the first person to have said that. But yeah, honestly, it's... I guess it's just how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunate.
Well, also, it was quite a nice moment from, I don't know if you've seen after the game, obviously the PSG players.
Marquinhos.
Marquinhos, obviously running over to his Brazilian centre-back partner and consoling him. I don't know if that was more because he just remembered, oh shit, I've got to play with this guy at the World Cup. I can't let this guy crumble. Yeah. So maybe that was part of it. But it was a nice moment. I thought it was
I
nice
think they are probably just mates as well.
Yeah.
I'm like imagining
strong
if
Brazilian,
you and your mates are like, I don't know, in this fantasy world where we're all professional footballers, I would still be like, but you're
a nice person, so
and maybe,
some people would not be that nice.
The thing is, I think you hear about a lot of this after footballers retire. That it turns out they're actually so many of them are just like lovely regular people.
Oh yeah,
they just let it all out on the pitch.
True. The one that surprised me the most, because you just think he must be a massive S-Housery, is Martin Keown. Apparently, because I've spoken to people at work at TalkSport, and they say that he's like the nicest person. Like he's really kind and like just a generous person with his time. So yeah, it's surprising when you sort of see him, the personality that you think he's got, and then like you say, the person off the pitch, probably a completely different story. But just going back to the game, and then I want to talk about Kvaratskhelia a little bit as well. Do you think this was a fair outcome from the game? Obviously, PSG winning it, and given the reflection on the performances they had in the home and away ties against Bayern Munich, the battering of Chelsea, which I don't want to talk too much about. But yeah, do you think they deserve it on the whole for winning the Champions League this season?
Yeah, I'd say so. They are the best team in the world. I think it's as simple as that. They're really well rounded. Their manager just gets it. They play football that probably is more deserving of success. We're going to talk about that kind of thing as well, but yeah, I do just, and they're just a joy to watch. Yeah, and so yeah, very valid.
Fair enough. Well, one player who was standout in those ties against Bayern Munich and Chelsea was Kvaratskhelia, and I don't know if you saw over the weekend, The Guardian did a really nice article about Georgian football and the sort of the heritage of Kvaratskhelia. And Ted Torovic Thomas, I'll give him a shout out because he wrote a really nice piece where he went to Tbilisi, which I think is Kvaratskelia's hometown in Georgia, and just he spoke to some locals and like met up with some people that played football with him as a kid. And it was just really nice, and apparently the town is like begging for him to win the Ballon d'Or because obviously it'd be a great thing for their country and their town and everything. But yeah, for you, do you think he is the number one pick for the Ballon d'Or this season?
Well, first of all, I was going to say it's way too early. Why are we talking about the Ballon d'Or right now? Do you know what I mean? Because people get they sensationalised
because Georgia aren't playing the Champions League. Georgia aren't playing the World Cup, so I think there is a fair shout to sort of. I think the Champions League whether you like it or not, does hold a lot of precedent.
Absolutely. But it's the World Cup year.
No,
you know?
I know, but I just think it's good to give this guy, his
absolutely.
time, because
I mean, if we're talking about the best player in the world right now, anyway, still Harry Kane for me.
Okay.
I don't think Kvaratskhelia has had he's won the Champions League, but I don't think he changes the PSG team the way that Harry Kane has changed the Bayern team.
Interesting. Okay.
61 goals this season.
Yeah, no. I'm
ridiculous. And yeah, right now he's my shout. We'll have to see how the World Cup goes, because I think England will probably do decently.
Yeah.
Don't want to jinx anything or predict too early, but I'd like to think that they'll do all right as well. And consistency-wise, I can see him carrying on that form through up until December. Realistically, the Ballon d'Or is two things. First and foremost, it's a popularity and PR contest. It doesn't matter who you are.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what kind of season you've had, numbers-wise, statistical-wise, whatever. If you've got enough of a cult following on Instagram and people
Vinny might contest that.
Well, I mean, but the whole reason he was in contention in the first place,
yeah,
regardless of how he played, was because of his name.
Yeah, okay.
The reason why Ousmane Dembele won it over someone like Mohamed Salah, for example, yeah, part of it was the Champions League, but I don't think he was as good as Salah in that season.
No.
This is, Salah bossing the Premier League, scoring, 47 goals/assists in the record goal contributions in the Premier League history.
True.
And he wasn't anywhere near the conversation.
Did he? He was in the top three, wasn't he? Surely.
I don't know if it was.
Oh wow!
I don't know if it was top three. We can have a look.
Have
a little fact check of that. Why not? But yeah, what I'm saying though is, at the end of the day, it's just if football journalists think something special of you, you're way more likely to get.
I guess I'm just being a little bit of a hopeless romantic, and just I like his background, his story. There's a funny guy on Twitter who seems to claim that he found him when he was playing in the lower leagues in Georgia, and kept messaging Borough to be like, you should sign this kid. It was during lockdown, and they never did. And obviously he's gone on to be PSG double Champions League winner. So I just think it's a nice story, and I just think that given Georgia aren't in the World Cup, I think he does stand a good chance. But I agree. Obviously, I wouldn't mind it if Harry Kane won it. I'm not disputing that.
After Harry Kane, I think it was Dembele still got a better profile just in terms of football.
Yeah.
It's a French award. And,
okay.
Overall, I just do think he's got better PR, better rep. And I've looked at the 2025 one. Again, it's just a case of if they're a player that's popular, they're getting more votes. Lamine Yamal came second. Okay. And Vitinha came third. So I think part of that's testament to PSG's success. But really, Mohamed Salah not being in the conversation at all, he came fourth. But not being in the conversation, it should have been at least between him and Dembele.
On reflection, I think you do make a very valid point. I had actually kind of forgotten that Salah had kind of missed out, and the fact that he didn't get top three is shocking.
Yeah, I think he used to be the Ballon d'Or used to be an award that I think was credible and worth paying attention to. Now I do think it's a bit of a farce. I'm not going to lie.
Do you think it's a bit rigged?
Not even necessarily rigged. I just think it's just one of those where people it's just there to have a conversation about who's the most popular football player in the world, not even necessarily the best football player in the world. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll move on. We've gone from Ballon d'Or to the next segment I've got in my script is Arsenal hate, Naz. I saw you smirking earlier when I was talking about the penalty, so I'm sure you're going to say something funny in a second. But we'll try and find a level of neutrality if we can, but we'll see how we get on. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff on social media. Obviously, talks what I mean. I think I sent you the clip of Jason Cundy and Gabriel Bonlahor wearing their PSG shirts. That was very funny. They did a post-match phone-in. And that's just funny, isn't it? And then I think a lot of Arsenal fans got really upset about that. I get that, but also, if it was my team that did that, I'd also find it quite funny. You can find humour in sadness, right?
The reason why Arsenal fans got so mad about it is because it's the first time in years that they've had this level of attention for the success that they've been achieving. So they're not used to being mocked. When you get to the top, everybody just wants to take the mick out of you. Yeah. That's just kind of part and parcel.
Liverpool got it last season.
Exactly. The more successful you are, the more the people will be waiting on your downfall. Yeah. And you kind of just have to embrace that. You've kind of just got to take it you're only laughing at us because we're the best. And Arsenal fans, they're not used to that, so they don't necessarily know how to do that.
Do you, on a personal level now, and you don't have to answer this, but do you revel in them losing, as people have said?
To a degree, but I revel in them losing the same way that I used to revel in Manchester United losing
Chelsea.
when Man United were at the top of the game.
Yeah.
Chelsea, but
Okay.
Chelsea.
No, fair enough.
Liverpool never really had too big of a rivalry with, other than maybe between like 05 and 2010.
Yeah, 2010. Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
But like, yeah, and the thing is though, like, I do want to say,
Yeah.
I think Arsenal are a really good team. I think they're an excellent team, and they're more than, like, I came round to it, and they're like, realistically, they deserved the Premier League title. They were the best team. You might be able to argue it was more about Man City dropping off than it was about Arsenal stepping up.
Well, I'd say you could argue, Naz, that we've had 2 consecutive quite poor seasons in terms of a title race, really, because last season you may disagree, and happy for you to disagree, but obviously Liverpool ran away with it, and it did kind of feel at times that they were at a canter, and you sort of at one point.
I mean, we were in Ibiza.
Yeah.
With like 4 games to go.
Yeah, okay. So you see my point. So, and with this season, it felt like, okay, there was a short period of a title race, but we didn't really get a proper one until right to the end, and Man City really had to catch up, and then obviously they drew at Everton. That was kind of the end of it. So you could argue it's been a slightly poor quality title race, and Arsenal were the best team, and kudos to them, they've won it. But yeah, I just wanted to also, before I forget as well, obviously AFTV, do you think they've played a negative role in kind of this narrative of like hate? I mean, hate is a strong word. I don't think maybe they do, but do you think obviously Troops back in the day, DT, obviously he's not on the channel anymore, but do you think those kind of people have played a factor in it, the kind of dislike and the hate?
It's a little bit true, yeah. And you know, obviously Simon Jordan was talking about this as well, and talking about how they play.
Piers Morgan as well, another one.
Yeah, the thing is though, like those big names, they're only just the mouthpiece that broadcasts what the general wider fan base is really broadcasting out there, and that's where the issue lies. Is that I think people have become too used to Arsenal fans giving a lot of talk and then not really achieving anything. So now, naturally, of course, they've finally achieved something. They're going to give it the big one and give it large. And that's fair enough. Like, you've won the Premier League. You're more than entitled to be like, we're the best team in the country. Fair enough. But we were getting a lot of we're the best team in the country before anything had been won for multiple seasons. And there was a lot of excuses and a lot of, you know, this went against us.
The Emirates Stadium.
It's just everything under the sun, and I think people just kind of got sick and tired of it. And so now, like, you know, I do want to say it, and we said this in the last episode as well, to our mates who support Arsenal and the people we know are just like sound people that support Arsenal. Yeah, congratulations, like, well done.
Yeah, I'm really happy for them. Like, obviously Ollie, Larry, people like that. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
good
exactly.
for them.
It's just the other side of it is
Kieran,
unfortunately, like, proportionally, it's one of those fan bases where you'll have more fans than you would do in other fan bases, I think, where they get a bit too carried away. Yeah. And we're exposed to that more because they're a big enough club to have something like AFTV be so popular and go viral all the time. So we see it all the time.
Do you think what's your thoughts on? Because I think it's actually quite nice. I think a lot of people tried to catch out some of the so-called fake Arsenal fans going to the parade and things. Actually, it looked like a really nice thing that people did, and it felt like a nice community, and people wearing their Arsenal shirts. And people that, as always, people are going to give out stick for people like not being real fans, or whatever. But I thought it was quite a nice event. I think at one point, I don't know if this is true. It sounds quite fake news.
It wasn't over 1 million.
Right. Someone said it was 1.3 million. Is that not the case?
I'm pretty from like news outlets.
Did you count them?
Yeah. I mean, I was talking to someone about this the other day. How do they actually count it? Because I think it must be...
I don't know, Naz.
I think what they do is they fly a helicopter over the top, and then they go...
Is it like square miles?
Square miles, and they calculate it by people and kind of do an estimate. But I don't think it was over 1 million. I think we'd have heard more about it if it was over 1 million.
I was going to say that'd be a lot of policing. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I think it was something like 700,000, 800,000, which is still a massive turnout.
Great
as you said, it looked like a fantastic day. The only thing I would say about Arsenal winning the title and fans is there's this weird thing going on of people desperate to prove that they supported Arsenal growing up by posting photos of themselves as kids in Arsenal tops. And it's kind of just like, part of me is like, okay, sure, you're like, thanks for showing us you're a real Arsenal fan. Part of me is like, if you really have to go as far to post a photo to be like, no, I promise I'm an Arsenal fan. No, really, I am.
Yeah.
That's, if anything, more suspicious. I'm like, really, like,
AI generated.
like you really, not even that. They just like the fact that you've really had to dig out, like, no, I promise I'm an Arsenal fan. It just makes you think, okay, you've gone and found that photo because you have no photos of you in the last 15 years of you in an Arsenal top to just be like, yeah, I've totally been an Arsenal fan forever, you know? I just like, it just seems a bit, it's a bit cringe. Like, just post your celebrations, mate. Nobody cares.
I think you're right. I think nobody does care. I think maybe people have taken the kind of being a fan too serious maybe over the years, and it's kind of like a sort of like territorial thing. I'm not really sure.
But also, like, what do we say? It's 22 years of nothing.
Yeah,
and that's what happened. I suppose when you get success regularly, you can't really relate. So you know, maybe you just don't get it.
Come back when you got 6-7 titles in your locker. Do you know what I mean?
How many? Hey.
Right, moving on. Obviously, another team that's doing very well this season, and they've done the domestic double, is Man City women's team, who battered Brighton 4-0. I believe Johnny Cantor, who came in and visited us, was commentating for Brighton. It must have been a really horrible day for him, but obviously fun experience being in Wembley. But yeah, Man City women obviously completing the double is massive, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'll get on to Bunny Shaw in a minute, but obviously a bit of a shame for a player like Fran Kirby playing for Brighton. Obviously she had that chance to take the lead for Brighton early on, and then after that it was basically a one-woman show. It was basically just the Bunny Shaw show after that, wasn't it? She had a great week, hasn't she, as well, because she signed, I think it's the first, other than the UK, it might be the UK, but the first £1 million a year contract in WSL. What do you make to that?
I mean, she's such a baller, isn't she? She's something like 21 goals this season. So like she's
Beast.
been since, and that was like well clear of the next person. I think it was probably Russo after that. He was like 9 or 10 goals behind. So like she's like really changed the game for Man City, and also very deserving of this. And if anything, the lesson to be learnt from it is Man City invested. They've really invested into their women's side of the game, and the success it brings out, the domestic double, doing a great job. Like they are really like killing it, and the platform is great for next season. And if anything, like, it goes to show that it's absolutely worth rewarding, like,
of course,
women's players by giving them bigger contracts and more money into the game in general. Like it's working out really well.
Isn't it kind of crazy though? Because I mean, there's a lot of comparative things with like the men's league and obviously the money involved in the men's league. And I mean, in my head, I was thinking about this. I think there should be a salary cap on both sides of the game, but then I suppose it's like supply and demand. If you're willing to pay someone enough and you've got the money, then people will. But I mean, £1 million is a lot of money, but in the men's side of the game, it's nothing. I mean, that'd be like, I think that might even be like a championship player sometimes, or maybe, I think maybe League One is stretching, but I'm sure there are championship players that are on the men's side.
I would go as far as to guess that like the best player in League One might be able to push for close to £1 million.
Wow.
Because there's so much money in, like, even like there's massive clubs now going into League One, like dropping Leicester City. Are going to be a League One team. So like it's kind of
no players on. Yeah, we can get onto them later. But I just think it just shows the slight disparity that there still is, obviously, and I think it's getting there. And I think this is a good step towards kind of like hopefully leveling out the playing field. Whether we'll ever get to that point, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of room for that debate, isn't there?
Yeah.
But just going back to the game itself, obviously Greenwood's free kick was really nice. It reminded me of Drogba's against Portsmouth in the 2010 final. Very similar kind of finish. But that was, I think that was her first goal in like 2 years or something.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad
good
place
time to
get your next goal. But yeah, I mean, obviously Bunny Shaw had a great game for the third, obviously running down the wing, powering her way through. Nice finish from Fagino, slight deflection. But yeah, what do you make to kind of Man City's season and obviously this game just in general, really?
Yeah. I mean, it was tense, and I think there was that one game against Chelsea where they kind of have they flexed their muscles a little bit and been like, listen, now this is our league. Like it was they were kind of always running away with it, but I think they really have gone to show that they're just a level above everyone at the moment. And we'll have to see what changes come with that with next season. But yeah, right now, I mean, my bet would be on them to go back to back. Like they seem really solid right now.
Well, I was going to ask you as well. They should do quite well in the Women's Champions League, shouldn't they? Yeah. Do you think they could go far or maybe even win it, or is that a bit of a stretch?
I don't see why not. You know, when you've got like Khadija Shaw in like form as good as that, then no reason why not, you know?
Why's she called Bunny as her nickname? I was wondering this. I was trying to look it up online. I couldn't really find anything, but it's a fun nickname. Because the commentator keeps calling her Bunny. And then I was looking up and I couldn't really find too much. But anyway, yeah, her nickname is Bunny Shaw. So anyway, yeah, so congratulations to Man City Women's.
I'm having a look for you now.
Okay. Do you want
the answer?
Okay, yeah, go for it. Sorry.
Oh, this is quite interesting.
Okay.
You could probably guess it. Eddie, like, just logically, why would somebody be called Bunny?
I was going to say big ears, but that seems a bit rude.
Think food habits.
Oh, does she like carrots?
She had a fondness for carrots at an early age.
Oh, wow.
She's also the youngest of 13 brothers and sisters.
Wow. Okay, I was going to make a joke about rabbits, but we won't go there.
I think it's implied. Yeah, so that is why she's known as Bunny.
Right, well, fair enough. Well, yeah, congratulations.
And the contract, by the way, at least £1.6 million per year. So
I think it's a minimum of $1 million is what I read.
Yeah.
And then with all the bonuses and potential appearance fees and all the rest of it, and competition things and all the rest of it, it could go up to 1.6. But
no, it's a minimum of 1.6.
Oh, I read base of $1 million. Sorry, I got that wrong then. Well, yeah. Good. That's good for her. Yeah. But yeah, Man City obviously winning the Women's Champions League. So yeah, they've done the double, which is impressive. So we'll see how they get on next season. Moving on now, Naz, to the men's side of the game. Back to your beloved Liverpool side.
Yes,
I thought
sir.
we would talk about Arne Slot, and just firstly on him, and obviously we can talk about Iraola later. But obviously he has been sacked after 2 seasons. Obviously, first year won the league as I was saying earlier, at a canter, you could argue, and then second season it really sort of fell apart, didn't it? And obviously you had a lot of reasons for this. Obviously Jota very sadly passing away. You had Diaz leaving for Bayern Munich. You know, a lot of factors that won't have helped Slot. But for you, and obviously Salah throwing his toys out the pram, which again we can get onto as well. But what do you think is the main reason why it didn't work out second season for Slot?
Well, first things first, I want to say thank you to Mr. Arne Slot.
Okay, it's very gracious of you. I thought you might have said the opposite and just been
no.
Get rid.
Thank you to Arne Slot. Probably the second most influential bald man in my life after my dad. I literally can't think of anyone else. Yeah, it might have to be. But like, the reason I say thank you is that he walked out the door at the right moment. I think I would have been really frustrated if we'd got into another season with him. I'm glad that everyone kind of realised this isn't working out. Yeah, it's like having a really like healthy breakup with someone that you're dating that both of you just kind of realise this isn't really going anywhere. It's like you start that first year you've been dating, it's been going really well. You've been like, hang on a minute, this could be the one. Yeah. And then suddenly like you start living together or something. You're like, oh no, like she leaves the toilet seat up and
this is for a different podcast, I think.
I'm getting way too personal with this. No, but you get the analogy I'm making. Like it's really that sense of, you know, I think we just realised it wasn't working out, and we've both mutually gone, you know what, fair enough. Like let's part ways. The reason why things didn't necessarily work out is because the first season, so much of it was Jurgen Klopp. And Arne Slot came in and tweaked it. He didn't do much. He just tweaked it and made things a little bit better. And everyone else was kind of rubbish. And he just took advantage of that. And that's why we went and won the league. The thing that changed was obviously the departure of all those players. And the difference then became Slot trying to stamp his authority a bit more in terms of how we play. And a lot of people are talking about how he kind of really slowed things down, and it didn't suit Liverpool as a club top to bottom in its entirety.
Sure.
It's a club that's about being attacking and being all over you, and it always has been that kind of thing.
Rock and roll, isn't it, as we'll get
rock and roll, and some managers did it more than others. Jurgen Klopp is the sort of the epitome of that.
Hodgson.
Roy Hodgson may be the antithesis of it, but that's why Roy Hodgson didn't last very long. And
Poor guy.
what an era, man. But yeah, it's I think it's all a decision that's gone pretty well, and I'm glad that we have all of pre-season to figure out what we're going to do next.
I was going to ask you, do you think players, there's this always expression used in football, downing tools. Do you think players actually do that? Or do you think it's just the style doesn't work, and like you say, they were used to the sort of rock and roll under Klopp, and they enjoyed that style of football? Do you think that it's just more just like an underlay? It's not actually they're deliberately trying to F over their manager?
It's a bit of 50-50. I think, footballers, the reason why they do their job 90% of the time, unless you're Ben White, is that you really love football and that you really love playing, and you really want to go and score goals and you want to have a great time. You're not playing in front of thousands of people, all of the glory of it all, right? And I think all the Liverpool players really acknowledged that, and they did that. But the difference comes in when you have a manager, and it's where that whole saying becomes a thing, is where if you want to run through a brick wall for them. I don't think anybody wanted to run through a brick wall for Arne Slot. Maybe in the first season he had like a bit of an influence, but he doesn't have that sense of like urgency and aura that makes a player go, you know what, I will do anything for you.
Salah was probably the antithesis this last season, wasn't he? Where he did run, it did feel like he ran defensively as well for Liverpool, and just kind of, okay, he's getting older, and there's lots of fact that he was playing in the AFCON in December and January, wasn't he? So there were factors, but yeah, he was definitely one player visibly who just looked maybe 5% off from last season, which is a big thing in the Premier League. I mean, that's the difference, isn't it?
Yeah, you can really tell when players sort of check out mentally. So many of our players have done that this season, and the result of it is like the departures and all of the moving around. Konate's gone, Robertson's gone, Salah's gone, Alisson may well be out the door. These are players who have been massive for Liverpool in recent years. Out the door. Just
quick shout out as well to Konate. Obviously spoke out about his friend Jota dying, and then said that he's sort of suffered from depression after the death of his father as well. So yeah, just really good that he's sort of come out and spoken, because I think it's important that really famous footballers do have a voice and they share those kind of feelings with the fans. I think that's really important. So yeah, kudos to him. Obviously moving on now to Iraola coming in just quickly. As I said earlier, I've written here return of rock and roll football, because I mean they do play some good football. I just wondered quickly as well, whether have you done that classic thing as a fan where you've gone onto YouTube and you found the YouTube highlights of your new incoming manager or player? Have you done that yet? And
I've just
LFC #1 support YouTube channel, whatever it is.
I mean, I've just watched Bournemouth this season. That's enough of that for me.
I know, but I'm just
we spoke about this like off podcast as well, because I was saying how in the previous episode that I wasn't really sure about bringing Iraola in as an option. Yeah. And I wanted someone with a bit more proven experience with a big club. Yeah. But then I really sort of sat on it and I dwelled on it, and there are multiple reasons why I think Iraola is a good appointment. First of all, I think bringing him from the Premier League kind of gets what's going on. I appreciate that. The style of play is instantly going to be better. And I think he appreciates that that's what Liverpool are looking for, that's what they need. Yep. I'm curious to see what he's like as a man manager. But I think one thing I really realised, and the big reason I think I came around to it, was that what Liverpool is really good at, player-wise at least, and eventually I would say probably manager-wise too, is taking a name that's like decently big, and like people know about but don't quite know the ceiling and the potential of, and turning them into world beaters and superstars. And that's what they've done countless occasions.
There's a lot of examples.
Every player in that team that won the Champions League and the Premier League, they all started that way. There was no real like superstar that came in that was a superstar. Maybe barring Van Dijk, who was kind of always had that like potential to be. The same kind of thing goes with the price tags too. Iraola, I want to say, is that kind of vibe is what I'm getting. It's that like I think he's eventually needed to get his chance at a massive club to prove himself at being a really, really top level manager. Yeah. And I think if it could be a decision, and it could be a marriage that works out really nicely between manager and club. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Well, one player who you could argue is potential but has gone for world-class price bracket is Anthony Gordon to Barcelona.
Wow.
For £70 million.
Anthony Gordon, by the way, who apparently has always dreamed of playing for Barcelona and has taken up Spanish lessons. So,
well, apparently he's been speaking Spanish with his fitness coach or something when he was at Newcastle, which again would be a bit of like warning signs to the Newcastle.
Right.
So what's going on here? Like, obviously wasn't enjoying the Newcastle sun or lack of. He's one of those players now where I'm obviously pleased for him. I don't know the guy. Good luck to him. He scored 4 goals in the first leg of a knockout round phase in the Champions League against Qarabag. 2 of them were penalties. I remember there was a lot of like headlines about, he scored 4 goals in Champions League, forgetting that 2 of them were penalties. I mean, for me, obviously Barcelona and Bayern Munich were fighting over his signature, and he's obviously got in the England squad, so he's obviously very talented. What do we know? Clearly nothing. But I don't think he's that good. Am I in the minority? What do you think, Naz?
I mean, it's a surprising decision, isn't it? I've tried to like sort of reason with it and figure out why they would be doing it. Mm-hmm. Part of it, I think, is to do with I think Barcelona just want some energy, and one thing Anthony Gordon will do is he'll run. He really will. He'll put the yards in. He really does have a lot of energy, and he will work hard for the team. And I think that's one thing that they really needed. The interesting thing will be to see what goes on with Marcus Rashford. And what the hell is going on there, because that is a bit of a weird situation considering price tag wise as well. Marcus Rashford is way cheaper.
Well, you say that, Naz, but I think he's actually been linked with Arsenal. Very, very strong links with Arsenal, and I could see that worryingly working very, very nicely.
They
need him.
Arsenal, they kind of, both of those, that works well because, Rashford, he wants a big club and he wants big opportunities, and Arsenal need a left winger that can produce. So that could work out well. Problem with Rashford, though, is consistency. He has had a really good season in Barcelona.
Did you see the El Clasico goal, by the way?
Top player, but it's just how often he can bring that out. If he can be consistent with it, Arsenal could be onto something really good as well.
Well, we'll move on now, but shout out as well to Crystal Palace, obviously winning the Europa Conference League.
Come on!
Massive achievement for the club, obviously. Seth's a massive Crystal Palace fan, so congratulations to him and to Palace. Pleased for Wharton, obviously, but obviously for Wharton's sake, sadly didn't make the England squad, which I thought we could just talk a little bit about. I know we spoke about it in the last pod, but since then, obviously, the final squads has been announced. Obviously, Harry Maguire and Lewis Hall, you could argue, unlucky, Naz?
Yeah. I mean, we spoke about Harry Maguire last episode as well.
Lewis Hall, maybe?
Yeah, Lewis Hall as well. I think the thing is, like, the worry for England is we really need players to stay fit and not get injured, because as soon as those sort of, like, first choices for those positions, like Nico O'Reilly, for example, like, if any of those get injured, we are going to be struggling. But I think what Thomas Tuchel has kind of figured out is it's going to be a bigger World Cup. Players are going to probably need to rotate a bit more. And that's why I think bringing in someone like Ivan Toney, for example, is actually quite a good idea, because not just for the penalty side of things, I think it would work out to just have him in group games and give Kane a little bit of a breather too, and then let Kane sort of work his way into the later part of the tournament.
Not playing any of the other strikers that we
of course, other strikers too, but like that sort of option to rotate, I think is quite useful, and I can see why Tuchel would value doing that over more of the forward line players, the players that are going to win you the games, over the players that he wants to do a job of just protect us. So fingers crossed that those players stay fit though. I think that'll be the massive difference, and especially with the climate and like having to adapt to that, it's going to be a challenge. Yeah,
it will be. I mean, obviously they've landed now. There was the Sky Sports News did a camera shot of them taking off and landing. It's always a big thing in a World Cup tournament. They safely landed. Safely landed. Obviously there are a few injury concerns. Obviously, Reece James, Tino Livramento, Jed Spence are all being closely monitored by medical staff. And then they've obviously got the warm-up friendly on Saturday against New Zealand in Tampa. And then Costa Rica in Orlando on June 10th. And then obviously the main tournament starts on June 17th against Croatia. So it's going to be a big couple of weeks for England, isn't it? And speaking of England, Naz, I believe you have a Is it an England quiz you've got
I've
for
got
us?
an England World Cup quiz for you.
Excellent. Well, let's crack on with that then.
Absolutely. Well, I've got 10 questions for you, Robin.
Okay.
Now, I am just going to warn you.
Okay, I'll need to write these down. Let me write
It's
these.
not super easy.
Okay, I might
It's not-
struggle then.
It's not mega difficult.
Okay.
And the thing is, it's multiple choice, so I'm going to give you
Okay.
options.
Okay.
But this requires some ball knowledge.
Okay.
Okay?
Oh dear.
Don't worry, you'll be fine, We're going to start things off with England's one and only World Cup triumph, 1966.
Oh no.
Now, we know that there were 4 goals, and Jeff Hurst being responsible for 3 of them. Do we know who was responsible for the 4th goal? Now, here are your options. Bobby Moore, Bobby Charlton, Martin Peters, or Roger Hunt?
I feel like I've heard Roger Hunt's name quite a lot in songs and things over the years, so I'm going to go with Roger Hunt.
Absolutely incorrect.
Oh dear. Why did I think that? I don't know why.
It's good to go with whatever logic
Yeah.
you've got. The actual answer is Martin Peters.
Martin
I don't
Peters.
think he really gets his flowers enough,
I've
does
never
he?
heard. That's
Martin
bad. I don't
Pe-
really hear like I've
An
heard his name.
England World Cup, final and winner.
Oh my god, that's
Like,
hilarious. But you never
people,
really.
no one ever talks about Martin
No.
Peters. Do you know what I mean? Well, shout out to Martin Peters. There's your
Okay,
glory, mate.
got that
You're
wrong then.
shouted out on the Friday fixture. I better be chuffed
Should we
with
get
that.
him on? We might be able to get him as a guest.
I hope he's still alive. You know,
Oh,
let's
shit.
just
Yeah,
just
maybe
have.
we should check
I'm just
that.
gonna have a quick look and just see what's going on with Martin Peters right now. Martin Peters was an English.
Okay, then. Maybe. I'm moving swiftly on.
2019. Oh my goodness me.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Martin
Oh,
Peters.
dear.
God rest his soul. Right, moving swiftly on. Number 2. Which of these teams were England's first ever opponents in their debut World Cup tournament in 1950?
Ooh.
Chile, Sweden,
Mm-hmm.
the United States of America, or Uruguay?
Uruguay?
Incorrect.
Oh my god.
It is actually geographically
horrible.
close. It is actually Chile.
Okay.
It was the first ever team. I like when I was looking at these choices, because this is a quiz I've actually just like pulled up off the internet.
Yeah, fair enough.
But double checked, because you never know what
No.
people are using to make quizzes nowadays. Could be AI.
Could be AI, yeah.
I thought it would have been USA.
Well, what's hilarious is when I was doing some research for this, they were saying AI said Ben White was in the England squad. I was like, that's not
Yeah, I don't know
true.
about that one. Okay, next question for you is, in the 1982 World
Okay.
Cup,
Oh my god.
England scored their fastest goal in the World Cup after 27 seconds against France. Who scored that goal? Was it Paul Gascoigne, Brian Robson, Kevin Keegan, or Glenn Hoddle?
Brian Robson?
Correct.
Oh, yes, finally.
Woohoo!
Would have
Very
been
good.
sad if I
Was
got
that-
none of
Was
them
that a
correct.
pure entire guess?
I just kind of remembered a vague memory of the 80s England players and thought I'll just stick a guess
Fair
on
enough,
Brian
fair
Robson. Wasn't really much logic other than that, really.
No, that's fair. One of those options was Kevin Keegan. I do think it'd be nice of us to take a quick second as well to,
of course.
to give it just a quick mention to Liverpool have had a week of it, because it's
Yeah, of course,
John Barnes,
yeah.
Kevin Keegan, and Kenny
John Barnes
Dalglish
as well.
all
Oh.
talking about like
Cancer.
treatments and experiences with
Oh,
cancer.
dear.
So it's tough.
And
It's-
just quickly as well, I haven't read the article, but I heard that, is that right? Kenny Dalglish accidentally released it on his phone or something.
Yeah. He posted about it on Instagram as
That's
well.
unfortunate.
But I think he dealt with it. He dealt
Yeah.
with like that happening quite well. And all our support at the Friday
Yep.
fixture is behind all of them.
Yep.
And of course, a reminder to any potential like man of age to get his prostate checked.
Yes.
Go and get your prostate checked. Okay, let's move on to the next question. World Cup did England fail to qualify for? Was it
Okay.
1958, 1986, 1994, or 1998?
Oh wow. Sorry, say the second one again.
1986.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Incorrect.
Oh dear.
It's actually 1994.
We didn't go to the World Cup.
We did not go to the World Cup. Yeah.
Oh, it was 86 Maradona. Maybe that was.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
I should have known that. This is bad. Bad knowledge from Robin.
Okay, moving on. Next question is.
This is question 5.
This, I think it's question. I want to say maybe question.
Oh,
6.
okay.
Oh wait, no. It's question 5. Yeah.
Okay.
I've got the weird thing in my phone where it's formatted.
Yeah.
It tells. It's question 6 according to my phone.
So question.
Okay, so yeah, this is question 5.
Okay.
How many semi-finals has England reached in World Cup history? Is it 1, 2, 3, or 4?
I think it's 2. Because we made the semi-final in 2018, and obviously we made the final and won it in 66, and we've not done much since. So, yeah, I think it's 2.
It is actually 3.
Whoa, okay. When did we make another semi-final?
It would have been 19. I think it was.
Wow.
Was it Italian 90?
Oh, yes, shit. Guys are crying.
Yeah, I want to say
that would make sense. Okay. Yeah, I thought that was a Euros tournament. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
A dramatic penalty shootout. Yeah. So there's the 3 semi-finals. Your next question is.
Shout out to Pavarotti as well. Great tune. Great tune.
How many players have scored a hat-trick for England at a World Cup tournament? Is it none? Is it 1? Is it 3? Or is it 5?
I think it's none. I feel like Kane has probably only scored 2. I think he scored 2 against Panama in 2018.
I'm just going to let you rethink that.
Oh, so maybe he did score a hat-trick against Panama.
No, not that specific statement.
Oh.
Just thinking about England and hat-tricks at World Cups.
Oh. Clearly we have scored a hat-trick and I've just completely forgotten. I'll go with 1 then. I'll change it to 1.
The answer is actually... Oh, where's my quiz gone? It's actually 3.
What? England suck at World Cups. This is mad.
Yeah. The one that I wanted you to remember was Sir Geoff Hurst scoring a hat-trick in the World Cup final.
Oh, I thought it was only 2 he got. Oh dear, this isn't good. Not sure I'm going to get a job on an England pod.
And the only person to join Geoff Hurst in scoring a hat-trick in a World Cup final?
I'm going to say like Ronaldo.
Right. Well, really recent World Cup final. In fact,
Mbappe.
Yeah, scoring a hat-trick in the last World Cup final.
And he lost as well.
It's crazy. It's crazy, honestly. And, it's insane to think that he will say that. He scored a hat-trick in the World Cup final and did not win.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
But he really carried that France team was back in that final.
Messi, come on. We have to give Messi the cup.
Right. Your next question.
Yeah. Is this question 9 or 8?
Mate, I don't even know at this point. I want to go with... Okay, I'm looking at my own list. This would be... Question 7.
Question 7, okay.
Yeah. Okay, it gets a little bit easier now, I think.
Okay.
In the 2018 World Cup, who scored England's first goal? Was it Dele Alli, Harry Kane, Wayne Rooney, or Jordan Henderson?
Well, I just watched Dear England, and I think it was Dele Alli.
Well, you weren't paying attention to Dear England.
Oh, no.
It was Harry Kane.
Oh, against Tunisia.
Was that our 2018?
Was that a penalty?
England World Cup.
Yeah, I think it was a penalty. Oh, that's terrible. I'm really not doing well here.
That's okay. I told you it wasn't going to be an easy quiz.
By the way, I enjoyed the first 2 episodes of Dear England. The third and the fourth, quite boring, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think it is.
But it was very well made. I enjoyed watching it. I think it highlighted some good issues. But yeah, not for me after the second episode.
But see it on stage if you ever get a chance.
I need to go and watch it on stage. Yeah.
This question I think is one of the easier ones.
Okay.
Who scored England's winning penalty in their 2018 World Cup second round? Second round? That's not really what it was. It was a round of 16. Why would they call it the second round? Really American quiz. Penalty shootout versus Colombia where we won 4-3. That penalty shootout where we were like, oh my god, England can win.
Do you mean the
penalty
actual
shootout.
penalty that won the penalty
Who
shootout?
scored the penalty that won the penalty shootout?
Okay.
Do you know who it is?
Yeah, I think it was Eric Dyer.
It was Eric Dyer. Ding,
Yes.
ding, ding. Let's go. Fantastic. Okay. What you want, like 2? Your penultimate question.
Okay, so this is question 9 then.
Who was the first England player to be sent off at a World Cup tournament? Was it David Beckham, Ray Wilkins, Wayne Rooney, or Paul Scholes?
Well, I've got a memory of I wasn't that old, but I've seen a video of Beckham getting sent off in '98.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with that, David Beckham.
Incorrect.
Oh no,
that is what I would have guessed as well.
Yeah.
I think it's just because Ray Wilkins is a little bit before our
Yeah,
time.
fair
However,
enough.
it's an infamous incident. Ray Wilkins got sent off in 1986 in Mexico.
Okay.
Do you know what he did? He threw the ball at the referee after an offside decision went against England. Can you imagine
brilliant.
doing that now? Just really like, nah, ref, I'm on. Straight at his head. Yeah, so,
That was excellent.
Probably valid red card,
Yeah,
I would say.
I'd probably have to say that too. Yes.
And your final question.
Okay, here we go.
In the 2006 World Cup, who was England's number 10? Who wore the number 10 shirt?
Oh my god.
Your options are... I realised I should have given you options because I actually changed this question from the question it was. It was number 4, but it was too easy, I thought.
Okay.
Do you know... But just
I
as
mean, in retrospect for this quiz, I think...
bonus point worth 20 million points. Would you know who number 4 was at 2006?
I would have said Gerrard.
It was. See, I would have thought that would have been too easy. So I thought number 10 would be a bit more difficult. Your options, let's say Wayne Rooney.
Is it not Michael Owen? Because he always wore 10 and he was playing in the 2006 World Cup. I'm pretty...
That's correct.
Yeah?
Yeah, it is Michael Owen. It is.
Excellent.
I was trying to think like what other strikers I could name you to be the 2006. Would Peter Crouch have gone to the World Cup in 06?
He did. He went in 06, yeah. Because
Yeah.
I remember him scoring against Trinidad and Tobago, I think.
Yeah.
So
that rounds up your quiz. What did you get? Like
I got like 4 out of 10, I think, if we're counting the extra bonus
that's pretty
ones.
solid. That's pretty solid.
I'm taking that.
Yeah,
I'm taking
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Naz.
You can have that. You can have that.
I'm taking that. Have you got, just very quickly for us, a very brief on this day?
I do have an on this day for you as well. Absolutely. And it is again.
Also, thank you very much for the quiz. Sorry, I should have said that. That was fun.
No problem. No
even
problem.
though I sucked at it.
Don't worry. I feel like a lot of people would have struggled with that.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you really got to be an England fanatic to,
No, I
to
appreciate
get all
that.
of
That
those.
was good hustle, mate. Thank you for doing that.
And if anything, it's broadened your knowledge.
Yeah.
And who doesn't want to learn something new?
Exactly.
Okay, it's another England themed on this day
Go for it.
because today is obviously Friday the 5th of June.
Yes, well done. Very on brand. I like this, Naz.
Because we always record on Fridays and publish it straight away.
It is not Thursday the 4th of
It's
June
not.
at 10:35
We would not do
a.m.
that.
No.
After receiving, let me tell you the date specifically.
go for it.
5th of June, 1999. After receiving 2 yellow cards for foul tackles, Paul Scholes was sent off in the 51st minute of England's Euro 2000 qualifier against Sweden at Wembley. And this was the only time an England player was sent off in an international at the old Wembley Stadium.
Okay.
The only time at all. And I just thought that was really interesting.
Yeah,
and
that's
the question it has led me to pose for you is, in general, international red cards. Are there any international red cards that stand out to you as being just insane, interesting?
The one that's really come to mind, and it's kind of it kind of broke England's hearts, was 2006. Rooney against Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Where he petulantly kicked back with his back leg Ronaldo, who then just fell to the floor like a
Really
salmon.
milked it, yeah.
And it was really annoying. And obviously they were Man United teammates at the time, and that just really frustrated me because it was like in normal football, if we were playing 5-a-side and I did that to you, and then you went over the floor on the floor like a salmon, I'd be like, what are you doing, Naz? Like, what are you doing? So that one really strikes me because it's just like, it was just so petulant from Ronaldo, the reaction.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was petulant from Rooney, but yeah, that really annoyed me at the time. What about you?
I mean, I think on that point, I think it was one of the first occasions where we really got a taste of like players putting their country before their club.
I mean, fair enough to Ronaldo, right? We've done the same probably.
And also,
but
Ronaldo's whole thing is he's never had the World Cup glory, and he really wants that. And maybe
quite funny.
Yeah, it is. It is, and I think it's the one thing that really makes him go. That really thinks like. It makes him think that he'll be nowhere near Messi's level because he'll never be able to touch that World Cup. But Portugal, I would say, an outside shout. Anyway, back to this. I think, obviously, Zidane stands out as well as a massive one, too. But no, I would have said that exact one as well. And the thing is, it's a very sort of visceral memory for me because we watched it in my primary school, like, summer fair.
Oh, cool. I like that.
When everyone brought in 50p to buy like sweets and stuff like that, and they had
that's very wholesome.
It was really wholesome. And then you've got England Portugal versus playing, and
angry dads in the background.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Like, angry dads at the back or whatever, really trying to hold their tongue because they would have swear in front of all these like 7-year-olds, like going crazy, But I remember the moment of seeing Ronaldo drop in the wink.
I forgot about that.
That sent the nation into absolute agony. Like everybody was fuming.
Yeah.
And it was so cheeky of him, but hey, it got them the advantage and it got Portugal through.
Frustrating as well because just quickly as well, Rooney probably shouldn't have played that tournament because he got crocked by another Portuguese player, Carvalho, playing against Chelsea a few months before the World Cup, and he basically shouldn't have been there. So it's just, the whole thing was just a bit of an S show, wasn't it, in the end? That really annoyed me at the time. I remember that, but historic, wasn't it?
And I think just a quick follow up before we finish up. If you could predict any player to get a wild red card in this summer's World Cup, who are you going to think?
He's injured, but I'm still going to put him on the list. Romero.
That's exactly where I would have gone as well.
Somehow, even though he's not even playing, he won't even be on the bench. He'll shout and get on the pitch and somehow get sent off or something.
Maybe there'll be an offside against Argentina and he'll throw the ball at the referee.
What about you? Is any other shouts?
Yeah, Romero stands out. I mean, you just got to think about any player who kind of just has like a screw loose. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe?
Yeah.
Sorry, he's not in the squad. Sorry. Take that back. He's not actually in the Brazil squad.
I mean, it could be a number of Brazil players. I think those South American countries, they're very sort of like hot-headed, aren't they? They really like...
I've got one for you, Enzo Fernandez. For Argentina. I feel like he'll probably get a bit angry at one point.
I could see that. Maybe an outside shout. Somebody really riling up Lionel Messi.
Okay.
And you know how like the whole Zidane's final World Cup and then he gets a red card in a massive game.
Messi does.
Imagine a Messi situation or a Ronaldo situation like that.
I could see Ronaldo being quite petulant.
That's
maybe
what I mean,
getting
something
sent
like
off.
that, you know? Hey, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
We will. But we've come to the end of the podcast. Thank you as always to Naz and thank you to our listeners. We'll be back next time with the Friday Fixture. Have a lovely weekend, guys.
See you next time.